We're totally going to swipe it on the right.
All
right, hey, we're live.
Oh, no.
We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Untitled Studios podcast.
We're swiping it to the right.
I'm your host. Or not really your host. I'm just some guy.
You're a host.
Stabby. And with us, we have a lot of other people who are going to introduce themselves now because...
No, we won't.
And
No,
I'm 40 Mike. I'm 40 Mike.
I said no, we won't.
Yay.
Mutiny. Mutiny.
I'm Classhole.
Yeah, that's Classhole. Sorry, we introduced you for you.
And Angle.
Hey,
I'm everyone.
We'll hang for this.
Well,
this is funny. I can't find our live. I can't find our live video, so I can't. Oh, wait, we are live, right?
Watch it?
Yeah, we are. It says
okay, and I can't find a link to tweet out. So I'm just going to do our homepage link.
F5 it.
We're either live,
I've refreshed it several times. This is
or we'll
okay.
Well, then you just move on to the thing. I'll send it over Skype.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Awesome. We know exactly what we're doing.
The super exciting show.
We are starting off with the traditional technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Because that's always the best thing to start out with. The shit we can't do.
And hung out. Yeah, let's all hang out and hung out.
It's honestly the most entertaining part of the show. We are funny.
In general, that's actually true, and I feel really awful about that. That's also how I keep track of the time. It's just, because I'm really good at it. It was, we have a YouTube channel, so I'll just watch the video, go there.
We have a YouTube channel.
We have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Hey.
Now, Stabby, you said you had a nice presentation for us.
I have an astonishingly good presentation for us.
Good.
Yay.
All right, I can't wait.
All right.
I sound so excited.
You guys are gonna love this, I think. Let's push all the buttons and make it go here.
That's a good one. That was a good one. Nice and solid.
All right. All right. So, destroying the evil that is Squirrel. Why a first strike is a better strike.
Fucking squirrels, man.
As we all know, squirrels have been plotting the overthrow of mankind for centuries. This is most likely because
Do we know that?
were created in an accidental satanic mating ritual between Adolf Hitler and B. Arthur.
Holy shit.
I respect Hitler and all, but I don't think I can get past the squirrel issue.
So we have the strengths of squirrels. They have beady little eyes.
Ooh.
They eat babies, obviously.
Of course.
They can, in fact, chew through steel. And when inserted into a dead cat, they can chew their way out in just under 2 minutes.
And
wait, who performed these tests?
That's not really important. Moving on. It's dangers inherent in dealing with squirrels. I don't have a compound yet. Their gaze can curse you with bad luck for 7 years. So you got to be really careful about that. You can't lock eyes with a squirrel. Terrible thing's going to happen.
I just looked into its beady little eyes.
Oh, yeah. Well, the pictures are okay. You just live squirrels, it's really dangerous.
Wow.
Okay.
Squirrels are responsible for all of hipster culture. That alone is enough to merit their destruction. Squirrels cause 90% of all teen pregnancy.
Now that was a surprise.
Known fact.
Wow, they are busy.
They hate condoms. They have lots of needle-like claws.
Teen squirrels. We should clarify. Teen squirrels.
And squirrels hate freedom. Most importantly of all.
Hey, that sounds like they hate America too.
Now, for reasons we don't know, squirrels are poised to strike any day. Those sneaky ancestral bastards could attack at any minute, so we have to strike first. We must strike first.
The super squirrels?
I think that's actually a dead squirrel that's been taxidermied that way.
Yay!
We strike shooting first. We can minimize casualties on both sides as we dominate the filthy barbaric squirrels.
Ooh.
You see, we have lots of America stuff to make you feel very American.
U.S. Army.
The unspoken benefit of a first strike is that once we crush the devil rats, we can also acquire a low-cost workforce.
Yes.
Use of the squirrel is uniquely suited to manual labor. In fact, most scientists agree that squirrels will be happier as manual laborers.
That's true.
The plan is simple.
Like
we
black people.
feed cats a combination of tuna fish and nitroglycerin. Then we stuff their corpses into squirrel-infested trees and detonate them from a safe distance. You might think that the cat-tuna fish combo is unnecessary, but no one likes cats either because they are sneaky cunts.
Agreed. They're just like the Japanese.
Yeah. Look at the eyes of that one.
Oh yeah, look at the slant
so much
eyes.
better when it's written out.
I bet you that's one of them Siamese cats.
It was Adolf Hitler's cat.
Clearly.
Adolf Hitler
Once
was
we
a
have
cat.
eliminated the threat to protect our children, each family will receive a fair portion of squirrel workers to serve as representatives of what will cost.
Yay!
Oh, we're terrible.
All right, so that sums it up. I think you guys can agree with me. A first strike is a better strike.
Okay, I have a question.
Is this going to be like a half-ass solution, or is this going to be more of a final solution?
Oh no! Once we own all the squirrels, we should be fine.
Okay, so I have a question about the logistics of this. Once we invade Squirrelistan and we go for their capital,
Squirrelistan.
not bad. Then what? You know, let's say we capture the capital. How long do we stay after? How long must we waste our boys out there?
Oh, we convert every squirrel to a worker and transfer them to families over the world so that the families get reparations for all the extra taxes they paid.
I see.
And we take over and make that a Disneyland. The entire
Impressive. Thank you.
So the head of recruitment, Inglehearth, you can contact him, Inglehearth, at notslaversinDisguise.com. The glorious leader of propaganda, 40 Mike, at totallyjustifiablewar.com. General Supremo, Sir Walter Classholes, at murderisgood.com.
Hey, but can you not put my actual email up there next time?
Yeah.
My bad. Supreme High Commandant, Skittles McStabby, at seriously not a dictator in training here. Or no, seriously no dictators in training here.com.
Yeah.
And that sums up my presentation for today.
Should that be a .edu?
Yeah, that's a good point. It is much more educational than anything else.
Very good. Very educational presentation.
Oh my god. I didn't even know I was working for you guys. That's awesome.
Oh no,
you're working for the government. It's really an idea that you're working for.
I didn't realize how big of a threat squirrels were. Thank you for bringing this to my attention.
Oh, you're welcome.
Terrible threats, sir. We must fight the
on a scale of 1 to brown people, how bad would you say the squirrels have ruined this planet Earth?
What kind of scale is that?
I don't know what kind of scale that is, but I definitely can agree with it. That's for certain.
Best scale ever.
Well, I mean,
that
like
scale
like
weighs
1 to
lots
10.
of drugs too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So anyway, I have a nice little story. I know that you're interested in acquiring some real estate, Stabby. So I found this in the great state of Maine. There is an essay contest that you can enter to win a historic Maine inn.
Yay!
So I don't know why any of this text.
We call it a podcast for the remainder of this story, or not a podcast, compound, just for the sakes, you know.
Okay, a compound. So you can buy this historic Maine compound.
Oh, essay. Never mind.
Yeah, got to win an essay contest. So got to do some writing and some.
Maybe it's an easy
some
essay
word writing and stuff.
You gotta meet up with some essays.
Apparently,
I need that link because I am going to fucking enter an essay contest.
Oh yeah, I was way ahead of you on that, so I figured we'd enter it together. I got this document.
We won it now.
Yes. Very good.
Wait.
Our whim.
No, not we want it now. No. Go back.
Oh, we shouldn't.
Let's start off.
Dear gentleman or madam.
Yeah. We want it now.
It's our compound and we want it now.
It has come to our attention
that you have our compound.
Lovely compound is available.
You know what? I'll just submit mine in blood separately.
Oh, jeez.
Get multiple entries.
We want to start it off naturally.
That would okay. That's pretty natural for me.
We'll masturbate for the first sentence, and then follow that with what Mike said. We want it now.
Okay, yeah.
Done.
Done.
Submit to our will, or bad things will happen to you and your family. Just saying.
Please don't.
Not a threat, it's a promise.
That's the cleanest, most impressive-looking crack house I've ever seen.
Thank you. So I'm just gonna change this font
Hey, yo,
up
bitch.
to non-threatening. Let's go with
Comic Sans.
Yeah, read my mind. Let's go with double space because we don't know
I'm
intelligent.
Each letter
bitch.
out of a magazine individually, and then glue them all to the letter.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Oh man, unsincerely.
Not a threat at gmail.com.
If this works, we're totally all living there. You realize that, right?
Yeah, we have to move in.
There's no fucking way we're giving that up.
We have to.
No, especially with the dungeon that's in the basement.
We pretty much have to do a reality TV show at that point if we win this.
Definitely.
Ayo, bitch.
You changed
Come to our
Gmail
attention
from
that
not
our
a
lovely
threat.
dungeon equipped to compound is available for purchase. We want it now.
How about oppression at gmail.com?
Next time, on the next episode, someone escapes out of Stabby's basement. Will they?
That's never going to happen again. I've treated all the handcuffs with rust-resistant paint.
Okay.
We gotta take care of business.
Good.
So their blood won't rush through eventually.
Yeah, that was beginning to be a real issue.
Yeah.
And they look better in matte black than shiny silver anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They don't stay shiny for long.
Well, that was a problem.
See, I used to have a problem with just chopping their hands off. So it's like, where do you tie them now? I can't use the handcuffs. So it really wasn't worth getting that rust resistant.
So here's what I recommend in that particular case.
Around the torso.
No. It's much simpler than that. You see, there are a couple of big bones. You can actually drill through a couple down through one of the bigger bones and just thread a cable through. It works perfectly.
Oh, okay. See, what I was doing, I was just taking two big meat hooks and just putting it through the meat of their back, and then just hanging them from the ceiling. But they don't last too long like that. They end up with severe muscle spasms.
Like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
We've lost Hearth entirely. It's just, this is not right.
Is Hearth in the middle this time? That would have been perfect.
I'm still in the fetal position.
Just curl up in the fetal position and suck your thumb.
Oh man, Ace.
That's an interesting Google search, by the way. Grown adults sucking their thumb. Yeah.
Wait, really? No, that's an awful Google search.
It's like 30-year-old people like staring at the camera, just like sucking their thumb, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're 30 years old.
You guys suck.
He's back.
All right. From an interesting Google search before I move on to something funny.
You're a masochist. Hey,
this is Tumblr. I just thought I would share that.
My girlfriend.
This is Anne Marie. She and her 18. She doesn't know where she's going, and this is Deep Throatodile.
Is that a?
That's the name of the person, Deep Throatodile. I just thought I would share that.
That is a dude.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Definitely could be a teenage heartthrob. Looks like a sure candidate to be the next Justin Bieber. Let's put all our stock in her.
I just figured. Oh, look at that! My cursor trails glitter. I just thought I would show us all the evil that is Tumblr, and just demonstrate to the web why Tumblr should probably be nuked. And then into something funny.
Yay!
Whatever that name is, Maria D'Souza.
Maria D'Souza.
Joao.
Yeah.
It's like an Austrian name like that Schwarzenegger would do.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Maria D'Souza.
Brazilian man killed by a cow that fell through the bedroom roof.
Oh God!
How did the cow fall through the roof?
So he was asleep in his bed with his wife When a 3,000-pound cow crashed through the roof, reports of the Telegraph, the cow was believed to have escaped from a nearby farm, then walked onto the roof, which abuts a steep hillside. So the roof just kind of like matched up with a hillside, and the cow stepped off the hill onto the roof.
Yeah.
And then it, wasn't able to support 3,000 pounds, at which point it fell 8 feet onto his side of the bed. And then his wife felt really good, probably because she made him sleep on that side, even though he didn't want to.
Did the wife say "Holy cow" at that point?
No, what happened?
Really fucked up. It's just the worst way to die.
Holy cow! Really?
Is there an option to vote hilarious on this story? Maybe
no, this isn't one of those. But it is interesting because the man was ground by beef.
You can vote that in your mind, though.
Oh, ground.
Get it? He was ground by beef.
Oh.
You need to go be taken out.
And the beef fell onto the ground, so it's even more. Yeah, it's like triple. Does anyone remember the South Park, like Nintendo 64 game where you would shoot a cow onto people?
No, but that sounds interesting.
No. Yeah, maybe someone just was using that gun.
Whoops.
I'm just throwing it out there, maybe.
It's a possibility. I think the Brazilian police definitely have to look into that. Very good. That's good police work, Mike. We need to
tell you how many times I had my head up a cow's ass in that game. It was crazy.
I actually have a legitimate story from the New York Times that I think you guys will all find relatively amusing.
Yeah.
This is funny, especially Class, because Class is not in fact a hate monger. We think.
He is.
In UCLA, debate over Jewish student echoes on campus of old biases. Now, here's what happened.
Debate?
Take
the Jew gold and kill him.
Was elected to a government board, right?
Disgusting.
And look at her, obviously very, very, very fuckable Jewish student.
Why would you put a Jew in charge? Where's her Jew nose?
The council in a meeting that took place in February, they voted to reject her nomination.
No.
Because
on the basis of Jewiness?
No, that's literally what it was.
Really?
You're too Jewish. Great.
Literally, they were because of like Jewish stuff, like whatever's going on in Israel and all that shit. They were like not.
Was it a bunch of old white people?
No,
it was a bunch of
UCLA.
students.
Oh.
It was literally a bunch of students, and then they eventually voted to let her in because the teacher who supervised was like, "Fucking really?" Essentially, like. You can read the whole article, but essentially
it's just like, for real, guys, for real.
The UCLA's selected student government was like, no, we don't want any stinky Jews, and the teacher was like, fucking what? Like, are you guys joking? You can't know. You have to have reasons.
That's bullshit.
Well,
that's some bullshit.
Like, that's how weird our colleges have gotten, like all the weird feminism and stuff like that, to the point where they're like, well, Jewish people are oppressing people.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid minorities.
Jews are well known for oppressing people.
And so, far away from anywhere that could even remotely be a case, we're going to keep this girl from being on our student council at college. Because fucking...
Wow, that takes some special brains.
I mean, the Jews,
UCLA, man.
They've got Hollywood, and before you know it, they're going to have the colleges.
It's like Mel Gibson getting blitzed and fucking going off on how the Jews took over Hollywood.
Mel Gibson has a $400 million church. That dude's insane. Yeah.
Mel Gibson.
I can't tell if it's a Christian church or if it's a church to Mel Gibson.
I imagine it's a church to Mel Gibson.
That's definitely a church of Mel Gibson.
I'd be surprised and disgusted if it was anything else.
Yeah.
This is America.
This is just, it was really funny that they were literally like, no, stinky Jews at UCLA.
We still haven't learned anything.
Oh, man, that's just...
I don't really want her on student council. I don't like her smell.
Well, and literally it was her affiliation with Jewish organizations like her sorority, and Hillel, a popular student group meant that she would be biased in dealing with sensitive governance questions.
What the hell do they think you do as UCLA, like student counselor or whatever?
I don't even fucking know. They probably vote over like school activities and stuff like that at most.
And foreign policy within the school. Like,
I mean, probably not even that. You know, I mean, most of that's probably dealt with by the teacher board.
Finally gets recognized as a country by the United Nations, then maybe they can, you know, bias towards Israel.
I just, you know, like, that just blew my mind that they were literally like, nah, she's a stinky Jew. She can't be on our student council. And then the teacher was just like, no, dude, no, wait.
That's really odd that they can kick out a democratically elected official because...
Yeah, oh no, it's beautiful.
Religion. It's. I mean, this is something that's common sense. How the hell do you get to college and still?
And still be that fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's not even like, I mean, I understand, like, UC is supposed to be the higher, like, harder to get into, so it's like people with potentially more brains than others. What?
you know, it just blows my mind.
It shows that as smart as you can be book-wise, you can still be morally idiotic to that extreme of a level.
I mean, that's not even like a case of morality as much as like, look, if you're a hate monger, just don't share it with everybody in a public forum.
It's,
you know, like, if you're literally just gonna hate people, like, oh, I hate Jews. Fine, that sucks, but at least make it private, dummy.
I wonder
that's not just one.
Can still like hold campus jobs or date non-Jews. Is this like a full Nuremberg, or
should they just pass out like golden flowers?
Yeah.
little golden stars of David to put on the Jew students so that they can narrow them down.
Yeah, you gotta identify them. And then you gotta have special, classes.
Yeah,
and then you know.
You have the special anti-Jew classes so you can learn how to identify them just by the sight.
Yeah.
in the
just
smell
look at their crooked noses and their beady little eyes.
UCLA, good times.
Oh, wait,
now I'm imagining
are we talking about
a
squirrels or
secret
Jews?
police. I'm imagining a secret police force.
Squirrels, yeah,
definitely. Light blue and gold.
UCLA Gestapo.
Classified should go to UCLA. I don't know what college you're going to now, or I should say high school, because we all know you're in junior high. But you really ought to consider UCLA. It seems like the place for you. They really have a lot of hate going on.
They share my values, is what I think.
See, that's
you really get that.
They just wouldn't really appreciate them coming from you as much, although they might get you on as a token.
Yeah.
Nah.
Because you're a little bit dark-skinned, they probably don't like black people either.
Yeah.
They don't like Jews. They certainly aren't going to like anybody.
Whatever happened to good old-fashioned tokenism? It's like, well, we got to let one Jew in the group because then we're not racist, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Why didn't they go racist in that?
You know, it only takes one Jew to stink up a room, so I don't think that's really good.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's messy.
And one Jew's Jew gold doesn't spread very far. We got that many people.
But no, like, I guess what makes that so much more ridiculous is it's a group of people trying to vote out around. It's not one person being a douche. It's just
like she was
voted
in by the masses, and then some like oligarchy decided, nope, Jewish.
Yeah. Despite being voted into place, you're not allowed.
Did everyone vote, or just people that really didn't?
I really got to commend these UCLA kids on this overthrowing a democratically elected official. That's a really American act.
Did you see the girl? The girl was smoking. Of course she was voted in. It's college. They were just like, God damn, those are some nice titties. I said, yep, she's in. Yeah, let's be honest. That's about as far as 90% of the student body went.
Sex with because she wins.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. She's Jewish. She might not want to go there because apparently they're bad. UCLA tells me they're bad.
Upla.
Yeah, that you don't want to get caught by the UCLA Gestapo.
Oh God! I had a training today at work, and it was rather amusing. I had to start biting my tongue in the middle of it. We have this charity event called the Human Race here in Maine. And everybody runs for different charities
and truly racist against.
Raises money for different charities through this race thing. And the theme this year is jungle. And my first thought was, can I run wearing blackface?
Yes.
A jungle bunny? I thought that might not be appreciated humor-wise, but
yes, it will.
But then they all started naming things from the African plains, not jungle animals at all, like zebras and giraffes and lions, as animals they're going to dress up as. I'm like, and I know this is going to be everybody, so I thought what might be fun is to get a really good knife, dress up like a hippo, and just run around stabbing people to add to the realism, because hippos are in fact the deadliest animal in Africa.
You know what would really be good is to get like a nice adventurer's hat, get a nice Jeep, and then go there and start punching all the animals.
But only the ones that aren't actually jungle animals, because you would normally be hunting in the African plains for a lot of them.
Oh, yeah, and
none of them live
like,
in the goddamn jungle.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you should dress up as like Steve Irwin and go with the complete wrong accent and be like, "G'day, mate."
Just run around sticking my thumb up people's butts.
Running around, sticking thumbs up their butts, stinging their hearts with a stingray, you know.
You have to do like a German or a British accent with Steve Irwin to really show that you're American.
Oh, there you go.
That's awesome.
Oh, man. That just blew my mind that they were like, and I'm going to be a giraffe, and I'm a zebra, and we'll all be zebras. I'm like, those don't live in the jungle, dummy.
Good job.
Sloths and monkeys and birds.
I'm imagining.
Are you saying they're like grasslands animals? Like
yeah, I thought it was really funny.
Really?
I didn't bother saying anything. Oh, also, there was a great one where like in the pamphlet it literally said, oh, let me see if I can find it. I think I saved it because it was fucking so funny.
Ooh, dick chopping.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Can we get over penis chopping now?
Yeah, I really don't get that.
Like, this is like the last like holdout from like 2,000 years ago, where it's like we're still chopping off people's dicks.
Well,
there's no reason for it, basically.
That's one way to make a statement.
It's like,
here we go.
Hey, can I just chop off my kid's pinky?
So here we go. We will not be accepting any amounts of coins this year. Please converted all coins to cash or check.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I was unaware that coins were not cash already.
Coins are not cash. Yeah.
No. Cash is definitely bills.
Yeah. Please convert all coins to bills and check, not cash or check, because they're already cash.
Your money's not good
The dummy
enough.
that wrote it just didn't realize that. I thought that was pretty fucking funny. So yeah, the dad wants to get the kid circumcised, and the mom doesn't. And I guess the dad has only been around for a few months. Like, he was kind of like there and got her pregnant and shit.
What does the kid want?
Well, I think the kid's like...
yeah, the kid just kind of wants to eat and shit.
How about we wait...
It was a 7-month relationship.
Well, you know, when the kid turns 18, he can do all sorts of body manipulation. And if he wants part of his...
I want to say he's actually pretty old
point,
for the thing.
He can still do that.
Yeah, so it might come down to a state appellate court deciding. And then, yeah, there's a lot of people that are against circumcision. I'm definitely against it. I kind of, like, obviously, you know, I am, but, you know,
I'm
my
against
parents
it
had
now.
no way of knowing 34 years ago that it was not really, because that's what doctors said you were supposed to do.
Yeah. Turns out they were
he's
wrong.
trying to get custody. Oh, it's a 3-year-old, which I think is too old at this point to really circumcise without waiting for him to decide at 18.
Yeah, because that would be really painful for...
Well, and super traumatic for a 3-year-old, too.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
think
something you do when you're super young.
I think it's painful regardless of what age.
Well, it's wrong and painful regardless. Like that's clear.
But it would be, like, traumatic in this case.
You're literally saying it's better to hurt a baby.
Well,
if you're going to hurt the baby,
well,
at least,
yeah,
you know...
Dude, Mike, babies don't fight back as much.
Yeah, I know. They're
at
easier.
least, you know, get a nice pate on it, a nice sear.
And
maybe some pepper.
Here's another problem.
Sea salt.
Some of these people
sauce.
have to adhere to like the old customs even further than just circumcision. So we end up with like rabbis putting their mouths on little kids' dicks and infecting them with herpes and shit.
Yeah, no, it's a real issue.
Kids die from circumcision.
That does raise the question, though. Why do rabbis have herpes?
Because they're sucking so much dick, I guess. I don't know.
Probably.
Well, with this one, I mean, are we talking and it's in general painful, or because as a 3-year-old, yeah, you're gonna remember that shit. That shit's gonna hurt. But you do it at such a young age, mostly, that it really, I mean, you probably won't remember that shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
it's not something that's gonna haunt your dreams at 16.
If I cut off my baby's pinky, he won't remember it, but that doesn't make it okay to do it. Or just the tip of his pinky, I'll say that.
No, it just makes it funner.
Yeah, I've played that game, just the tip. It never goes quite the way you plan.
I've actually argued about this quite a bit over the last couple years.
Oh, like whether or not circumcision is right?
Yeah. Because I actually did have my son circumcised, but then it's like about 2 years later, I was really pissed off at myself that I did that.
Well, it's one of those things that's just recently come into light that clearly has no medical benefit whatsoever.
Yeah,
like it's not cleaner, it's not safer.
There's medical risk in doing it.
Yeah, there's actually a lot more risk than benefit.
And it's just straight up creepy. Why do you care what a baby's penis looks like?
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. It is really strange.
If someone wants to be circumcised when they turn 18, they can get anesthetized.
Well, you can actually sort of reverse it. Not like you can't return the nerve endings and the tissue.
No.
Are you talking about the dumbbells?
No, but you can like hang weights off the tip of that thing. I've seen that shit
on Penn and Teller or something.
Yeah. That dude's body looked so fucked up.
That sounds like the worst thing you can possibly do to it.
It's gone. Even
if
you can artificially grow your foreskin back, it's not as sensitive as the original foreskin. It's fake.
Well, I mean, he was doing it as a political point, I think, more than anything else. And how many other times are you going to be able to be in a group of politicians and whip out your dick for a good reason and not have everybody like, oh, God, what's wrong with you? I think that guy was just fucking smart.
Rob Ford is back.
I mean, I thought that there was a medical benefit to actually having circumcision.
I think there's none. Supposedly makes it easier to clean, but it seems like you should be cleaning there anyway.
No. The part of the body that's exposed really isn't meant to be exposed regularly, and it does not suffer any real issue. I mean, if literally you're smearing shit into the fucking foreskin of your baby, then you're gonna have an issue. But as long as you're just wiping everything front to back,
it just increases the risk of infection and all sorts of things.
It increases the risk of infection if you're not sanitary, if you're not cleaning things regularly.
No, if any cut increases the risk of infection, whether you're being as sanitary as you can or not. It's just,
you're talking about like by actually circumcising it.
Yeah, just having just any cut. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it decreases the risk of actual getting UTIs for babies because that area is more protected from the stuff in the diaper.
Okay.
And then there's really no benefit to circumcision at all. Like I've seen a lot of different stuff on it because I was just curious when I first saw the Penn and Teller thing, and I'm like, really? That's a big deal?
And it's taken a long time to get to that point too, where it's like people have finally admitted, like, okay, there is no benefit.
Well, and you actually decrease the sensitivity of the male pretty substantially.
Yeah.
So, like, further on down the road, when he's fucking, it's not going to be nearly as intense without the foreskin. And I think they don't even really do it as a standard in Europe anymore. Like, Europe, for the most part, is like, nah, that's really fucking barbaric.
It's been outlawed there, I believe, in most of the countries.
Well, I don't know about that, but, like, I know in the U.S. it's done mainly just for, like, cosmetic reasons.
I'm sure, like, Italy or Spain
religiously informed at first, and now it's just the standard.
Yeah, and then and there's still a lot of doctors who will say to do it, which is just really unfortunate. But anyway, on a brighter note,
he's like, I had no idea.
Hey, that's actually quite like a.
I've seen that.
Yeah, we sounded
I've seen this before, but this is kind of cool.
How strong is Steve? Oh, stupid.
Minecraft, I saw this, yeah. 36 slots to carry things. Each slot can hold 64 times of most items. The heaviest item based on real-world weight you can carry is a cubic meter block of gold. It would weigh 19,300 kilograms. Each slot can carry 64 of these. And you have 36 slots totaling 44.467 million kilograms.
God damn.
And then it goes on to talk about like the armor weighing another 51,000 armor on 66.
It's using all those stupid European measurements. Can you translate that into pounds?
The grand total to 44.519 million kilograms.
Yeah,
roughly the weight of the Eiffel Tower.
And you don't see him. You don't see him carrying any of this stuff around either.
And why they use a
It's all stabbing him in the ass.
Why not the Statue of Liberty?
I mean, this has been around since like the beginning of video games. Like
I didn't even know that. Yeah.
You unlock the canoe, and it's like the canoe just goes in your inventory, and your inventory is supposedly like a little bag that you carry on your side or something.
And then,
I've never seen that before. I thought it was kind of cool.
In Grand Theft Auto, you can just have 10 weapons at once.
Yeah. It's like you know Mary Poppins' little bag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they did a cartoon Link. You know that, right? Like you've seen that. It was, I think, part of the Mario Brothers Super Show or whatever.
Yeah.
And they actually kind of explained it in that one, where he had like a pouch, and the items would shrink down
magical,
and then expand when you put them back out of it, which actually explained a lot.
Because you had to explain that shit, because it's like, hey, you got the canoe. You can't have Link carrying around the fucking canoe for the entire fucking episode, you know?
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense.
So, speaking of inventories and games I'm probably currently playing, I picked up Resident Evil 5, and that inventory system, as annoying as it is, you're still carrying around a good amount of shit, but you are very limited on the shit you can carry.
Oh, it's a little more realistic.
Yeah.
Yes. The weapons you carry are generally on your back, like a shotgun or a machete or a pistol.
Oh, and you actually see them. Yeah,
and you see it.
Yeah.
So, and then on top, you only have 9 squares, so you can only carry 9 items, and you'll have to carry your ammo.
Yeah.
So you can have a pistol and then a pistol ammo.
And there's
other 2 slots use it up already.
There's other games where it's like the more items you carry, the slower your character moves and so on, because it's like weighing you down.
Yeah, there was a couple of like those zombie real life like online zombie games or whatever, online survival type games.
Oh
yeah.
I thought that it did similar things where they severely limited your inventory to like what you realistically could carry, or realistically what a very in shape person could carry.
Not
necessarily each individual.
Realistically, what a naked man can carry.
I kind of like those limited inventories, as annoying as they are. It's because it shows kind of realistic quality.
There's a lot of really funny videos on YouTube for people that are preparing for random versions of the apocalypse. Survivalists.
Zombie apocalypse.
Not survivalists, but I forget what you call them. Preppers. Preparation.
Yeah, doomsday preppers.
Oh,
prepping. They used to have a show
I hated
on
those kids in high school. Fucking preppies, man.
Preppies. But it's like I live in California, and so I have like a small bag of stuff that I grab if there's like an earthquake or a fire.
Yeah.
But these guys have like 500 pounds of gear, most of it guns. And on YouTube, when you watch some of the videos, it gets really fucking funny because you're like, there's no way that fat, out of shape motherfucker is carrying like 150 pounds on his back for any distance whatsoever. Yeah, like.
Dude, yeah, that's
it's pretty fucking funny.
They used to have a show on History Channel called Doomsday Preppers about these people.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, they'd have them like explain their rationale for getting everything and how they thought everything was going to go to shit.
That was going to happen. Yeah,
it was always really funny.
Those guys are amazing. Part. Like the magnetic poles are going to switch, the world's going to end. I'm going to have the holy guard and fuck all of y'all.
There was one dude who thought there was going to be a massive economic collapse, and like DC was going to, go to shit. The U.S. was going to collapse. So her reason is that, hey, let's go move to DC so I can. She was
watch it happen.
I can become the new president.
Like, I should be close to this so I know before everybody else when this happens. I think that was
I
her
want to be
reasoning.
I want to be close to DC because like the president, the president has to have some bunker somewhere where they can rush him.
Oh, and you might
like,
have a
yeah.
chance
and
of
it's
getting
like,
into
oh, I
that
want that
bunker.
bunker.
No, and he's not letting any of the common people in.
Oh no, you're not getting in.
See, my hope is if that ever does happen, and there really is like a secret bunker, that on the way there, whoever's like, allowed to go to the secret bunker just gets fucking destroyed by gunfire. So that they're just completely gone, and there is no one in the bunker. It just ends up being like this like deserted place that no one finds until years later.
And
like
then I find
later.
it, and then I become the new president of the world.
No, I become king of America. That's
I become the Baron
really.
of the universe.
There was actually a really good show from the UK that talked about what happened if like 99% of the people died from a flu-type virus. And it was much more realistic. Like there was some people that were just like straight up evil and would like shoot other people, but they were very uncommon. The majority of people were just sort of morally gray. Like if you could steal something, you'd steal it, but otherwise you just try to like get along with people.
People are as trustworthy as you allow them to be.
Oh yeah, there was one
get away
episode
with.
There was one episode of Doomsday Preppers where there was a whole like commune of people who wanted to prepare for the destruction of society.
For the comet.
Their logic was, hey, let's not have any guns or anything because if people come along, we'll just invite them in and they'll join us.
Yeah, you can tell these people haven't watched The Walking Dead at all. You do not just invite motherfuckers in
like interacted
without any guns,
with people at all.
There's a great book series about this sort of similar topic, but not zombies in any way. And I think it has a very, very good saying that's repeated throughout the series. Mercy to the wicked is cruelty to the innocent.
Yeah.
So
because
you take people that are truly bad and you don't eliminate them immediately, you're just like somebody else is going to get fucked over by them.
Yeah, you're causing more harm.
So one of the episodes I was watching, these two guys showed up, and there were only two of the main character crew in the house at the time. They knocked one guy out for a moment and tied him up and went in to go rape the girl. So they managed to fight back and get these guys subdued before they could do any real damage.
No.
And tied them up and then left them out in the middle of a city somewhere. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just kill them? You're literally condemning someone else to being raped.
You had a perfect chance to rape him.
Well, you just execute them both.
I always hate in TV shows when the good guys are like really have a good conscience and won't kill the bad guys.
It's not even a good conscience. It's not yet. Like that's not really a good conscience at all because literally these are two psychotic rapists. All you're doing by letting them go is condemning someone else to being raped.
Well, I mean, if you can trap now we're going into like comic book shit or something. If you can trap them forever or something and not kill them,
why not just fucking kill them and be done with it? You'd never have to worry about it again. These guys are just like, all right, well, these guys are going to go off murder, raping, let's just eliminate them now.
If you're that bad, but it's like...
They really were painted that badly.
There's a gray area where it's like, well, he beat the shit out of that guy, but he's not really...
No, this is very not much a gray area part. No, they were like, one guy looked like a fucking psycho, and the other guy was clearly like, this is all he was about.
He's like, as soon as you let me go, I'm going to rape me somebody.
He was in his eyes, really. His eyes said, kill me, I'm a rapist.
It's kind of like that episode of South Park, Free Hat, where...
Free Hat.
The guy... So they keep trying to get this guy...
Give him a baby!
Yeah. They keep trying to get this convicted child rapist free on the grounds that it was self-defense.
Yeah, the babies attacked him.
And as soon as he gets out of jail, he's like, he asks for a baby. He has to see, and they give him one.
The baby's like, holy shit, get him away from me.
And it's funny because he's like this really skinny, like backwoodsy looking guy.
He's gonna rape the baby.
Yeah.
Oh God. See, this is this episode of Untitled Podcast brought to you by other shows.
Yeah, where we just talk about shit. Excellent work, gentlemen. Excellent work.
Okay. We did it.
We do a wonderful job. Are you using other people's shit?
Hey,
Oh, God.
We informed people of the vital squirrel threat, okay?
Yeah, we deserve a couple minutes.
Oh, are we going to cover a topic we've never covered before? Good.
So this is entertaining. Dude, fucking give it some room here. Come on now. It's the last 15 minutes of the show.
I wouldn't give you shit, would I?
Never.
Okay.
The Anti-Defamation League actually had Sarkeesian assist them with writing a lesson plan for high school students to educate them on why video games are sexist.
Good lord.
Well, and like here's some interesting things. We're not going to cover the whole thing because that'd be ridiculous. But one of the things they quote throughout here, and it's quoted multiple times, Anita Sarkeesian, one of the more well-known media critics, was in the news recently because when she was invited to speak at Utah State University, she received threats that there would be a shooting massacre if she came. The campus police reportedly told her they could not search people entering the talk for weapons, and therefore could not guarantee her safety. So she canceled. And we've covered that one before, and I think a lot of people have. That's blatantly false. The police said there was no real threat. It was clearly not a realistic threat.
No one can ever guarantee
violate
her
the constitutional rights of every single person entering the talk for her.
No, you don't understand. We have to throw out the law of the land because, you know, she's a really special butterfly or snowflake.
Yeah.
Ooh, a snowflake butterfly.
This lesson plan provides an opportunity for students to learn more about the world of video games, understand how sexism and misogyny are perpetuated in gaming, and express their own thoughts about the issue. I like how that's front-loaded by giving you the thoughts you're supposed to express.
Yeah, I love my video game
is
101 class
perpetuated
in high school.
In fact, they just assume their conclusion.
Yeah, it's super fucking funny.
De facto.
And then, like, some of their links are even dead links. So, like, there's one, the bottom of, like, the second page, they refer to these facts, and 404s. 404? It's not even there anymore.
Giddy up, 404.
Error, no facts found.
Yeah. I have no idea if it's good. They have one thing that they quote that's actually good. The pewinternet.org online harassment is actually pretty good, and it actually contradicts a lot of their statements. Claiming
is that PewDiePie?
Yeah, no, it's literally a much more realistic view of harassment online, and that it shows that men and women both receive roughly the same amount. In fact, men actually tend to receive more of it, and theirs is more like death threats. Like Anita and Sarkeesian and all that, their group kind of have received a lot of threats, but so have a lot of people on the other side of the issue. I think one guy actually received a dead mouse impaled on a razor blade in the mail.
Jesus.
You're welcome.
I like their vocabulary: abusive, controversy, critique, cyberstalking, dehumanize, macho, harassment, gamer, feminism, exploit, misogyny. As you can see, this is clearly all designed to give you like an emotional response.
So this is like third grade vocabulary words. Like, make sure you know these words so you know what I'm talking about.
My guess is that their goal is,
and they're all heavily biased towards.
Oh shit! Is this going to be on the test, Mr. Artesian?
Yeah.
Well, my guess is that these are all the reinterpretations that a lot of weird extremist feminist groups have made of these words. You're not actually teaching the actual meaning.
Yeah, I want to know their definition of gamer
at all. Like this whole section probably should be stricken because really these are words that a high school student should know.
Yeah.
And this isn't, the only reason these are here is clearly because they're trying to redefine the terms.
No, it's their meaning.
Despite the dictionary.
It's their meaning in the context of Anita's head.
I mean, yeah, I'm okay with them going, this is what we mean by these words. But let's not pretend that everyone agrees that that's the actual definition.
Oh, yeah, the big problem with this whole thing...
They're going to be biased like a motherfucker.
Wait, are you suggesting to give equal... I don't know. Are you suggesting to give a voice to the other side of the debate?
No.
Oh, yeah, you should, but it's clearly not represented in here.
Communist China?
They give a bunch of statistics that really, a large portion of which don't make any difference whatsoever when talking about sexism in video games. The number of Americans that play video games is completely inconsequential. It doesn't matter if it's 1% or 20%.
I don't even know if that's true.
Really, only 59% of Americans play video games.
Yeah,
it's
I know
60% of Americans play video games.
old ass
Roughly.
people that play video games now. It's like
it's
everywhere.
like 59% is what they're saying. Well, this is who knows where they got this stuff.
The
that's still
average age is
kind of an
31.
astonishing number.
Really? Huh.
That doesn't have anything to do with sexism in video games. It's really totally unimportant.
Well, it gives like
This is
a
ironic.
generic standing of what the age group is.
So
like, if that's
But
the
it doesn't
average.
matter. It has nothing to do with sexism in video
According
games.
to their
If you're
own
teaching about sexism, the age of the group doesn't matter. They either are or are not sexist.
According to their own stats, it looks like up from 40%.
Yeah, this
So
is
it's
what
like
I was going to point
the
out.
problem is basically gone away, and they're still complaining about it.
Yeah, more and more females are playing games, and it's steadily rising.
Their complaint is that games aren't targeted to females enough, but
But
you know,
clearly they
this
are,
is- this
because
is a claim
48% of people playing games are female.
Yeah.
So it clearly targets them just fine.
Women age 18 or older represent a significantly greater portion of the game-playing population, 36% than boys 18 or younger. Not only is that a weirdly misleading statistic, it's completely inconsequential.
Yeah, who cares?
It doesn't make any difference whatsoever.
There are problems with games like Call of Duty who obviously target these young boys. I don't really
Not
get the
really.
problem. Like, it's not.
No. They make a first-person shooter violent war game. They target whoever wants to buy that game. They don't give a fuck if it's a boy or a girl. There's no crotch check at the checkout station.
This is girl money. You know.
How else are you supposed to advertise a video game about blowing shit up and war? Are you claiming that women that there are no women who would be interested in that and won't like an advertisement and decide because there's not a pretty pink fucking dress that they're not going to go buy Call of Duty? No, it just happens to appeal to that group of people more. It has nothing to do with the game or them being sexist.
They have an odd worldview because I remember specifically with the Lego issue, she was criticizing Lego for not targeting girls enough because they were making like Star Wars sets and stuff like that. But when they did try and target girls and make like a nice pink set, she didn't like that either because that's bad.
Like, how dare you? You're racist or you're sexist.
You can't change what people are into. A lot of that is biological in nature. What draws different genders to different tasks and stuff. And a lot of it is also, some of it is societal, but a big portion of it is really genetic. Women are more into like nesting, men are more into like, going out and fucking hitting things with a stick. It's just how it is.
I don't see that there's a problem if, like, what other people are into. I don't really want to change other people's interests.
Well, and the thing is, it's not like it's restricted. Anyone can go out and buy Legos for anyone.
Yeah.
So there's really no sexism there. That's not really a case.
Though I do wish they would check my crotch when I went to go get Legos and groceries.
You can't get
I have had my ass grabbed as an age check when I was buying beer at one point, but that was totally different.
Remember, in some medieval countries, everything was bright pink, and so it would be historically accurate to come out with a bright pink medieval times Lego set. It's like, that's not how it was. We made it how it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, ridden with disease.
We didn't make it. We didn't target
at like the age of 20.
We didn't
Great, dark, and scary.
You could make little enlarged lymph node Legos. So you could give some of the little Lego figurines the plague. Fun fact about the plague: those the swollen lymph nodes often come in the groin.
Yeah.
Not on the neck, as many people believe.
It's in the balls.
Most of the time it's in the balls.
Yeah. A lot of these statistics you get the point are basically just bullshit. Like the average age of most frequent game purchases is 35, and it even includes that it's 50-50 men and women. I'm like, that's obviously nobody gives a shit.
All this says to me is that the percentage of male versus female gamers fluctuates depending on age range, and we don't even know how much. You know what I mean?
These statistics are just nonsense that doesn't really give you any sort of
and video games encompasses a large array of genres. It's not a one genre platform. It's you got Candy Crush and war games where you can blow things up and chop people's head off.
Well, and there's also like puzzle-solving games, and there's like adventure games and fantasy games. There's interactive book games essentially.
LARPing.
Space games, the funnest, most noble type of game.
There's so many different types. It's basically open.
What do they mean by gamer exactly? Like, are they including LARPers and people that play board games too? Is it?
Well, I'd imagine video game specific because at least the
dig real fucking deep to really know
argument
any
they
of the shit
try
we're
to
talking
make
about.
is
And it's probably all biased.
Oh, this is the great one. The only real exercise they talk about doing is you put 7 posters up on the wall. One says, I have watched other people play video games. One says, I have played video games. One says, I play video games on a regular basis, at least once a week. One says, I have witnessed sexism in video games. One says, people have said or done sexist things to me through video game interaction.
I'm under there, right?
Another one is, I believe video games can have a negative effect on attitudes and perspectives in general. And the other one says, I believe video games can perpetuate sexism. And you have your students go and put Post-its on whichever one of the 7 posters they agree with. And then they can go talk with each other about that topic. And I love how the fact that there's absolutely no alternative. It's all that it is. In fact, games are sexist and cause sexism. Like, it's so fucking biased, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not buying those last two.
We're letting these kids decide for themselves. We're not steering them in any direction.
That's like saying make people more violent.
It's such an absurd.
People are violent. That's why they make war games, and that's why other people enjoy them.
Well, and since they've started making those games, actual incidences of violence have gone down.
It's like, those games are based off actual instances of violence.
Then we have an outlet.
World War II games aren't just an invention of the fantasy genre. That actually happened, that we killed a bunch of Jews. Good thing.
I like this. The end of that poster thing. You ask your students, in what ways does sexism exist in video games? Can you share an example of sexism?
I've seen sexism in video games.
But I mean, it's like.
But it's not like the sexism
was. It goes both
presented.
ways in a lot of cases, though.
Yeah, but it was never presented as like the sexism is good and we're recommending people do this and.
Oh yeah, no.
It's always like here's this sexist asshole that you can't wait to die later on or something.
Yeah, you're gonna get to kill this fucker later.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it has a 10-minute talk that you're supposed to play from Sarkeesian, or her TEDx Women Talk.
And you never go around murdering women just because they're women. Like, that's not a thing I've had in games either.
No, that's not
done that. But it's not an objective.
I have gone around.
And they don't recommend that you do it in real life, like ever.
I have played a knockout game in like Saints Row.
Oh, good lord.
Not specifically with women, but it's really fun playing the knockout game.
Is it?
There is much less of a chance that you get shot with a gun and end up in a hospital than if you played in real life.
But there's a higher chance you'll get knocked the fuck out.
Well, no, not if you get the jump on them and come up behind them at the first hit.
But there's other people playing the game with you now, because everyone wants to play this fun game.
No. See, that would require that I have friends. In the first.
So now I'm on the lookout for the Punch-Out game, so people are way more likely to get punched out now.
And then the interesting thing here is they have you play the 10-minute talk that Sarkeesian did for TEDx Women.
What a great talk that was.
What a lot of people don't understand about TED and TEDx is that they have, over the last few years, been criticized highly by a lot of real scientists.
Some of them are shit now, is the thing about
they
TED
charge
Talks.
between $4,000 and $6,000 a seat for the audience. If you want to talk at the TEDx, you have to buy a certain number of seats or guarantee a certain number of seats sold.
And a lot
they
of
generally
stuff they
charge you money to
now.
go talk on the TED or TEDx, and a lot of them will require you to attend a bunch of other events in which you have to pay a lot of money. So basically, TEDx and TED have become like this way of them getting money out of faux scientists in order to be able to.
And they allow copious amounts of bullshit now.
Yeah, and it's very, very criticized. So like really, you can't point at TED and TEDx as even TED is not really very good now.
No single source even.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate because it started out as a really good thing and then it just got completely fucking destroyed.
TED Talks are pretty okay, but TEDx Talks are put on by third parties.
Are you saying that money ruined something? Like
Well, the TED Talks now are starting to not be
money,
okay.
like ruined something somehow?
No, even like the TED Talks now aren't really okay. Like maybe the early ones were, but the ones now, like they even start to get in people's faces if people don't agree. Yeah. So like behind the scenes, if you're talking to somebody and saying, "Look, what you're talking about probably isn't true anymore. Have you seen the latest research?" They'll start to fucking kick people out and shit. Like
because that
it's
gets
really
in the way
weird.
Of money, you see.
Yeah. And then they distribute
you must trust the dissent.
Truth is inconvenient when it comes to making money. That's something people.
And then they went and sent out. They want everybody to do the Game Over for Gamers article, the one that has been picked apart numerous times and proven to be completely made up of falsehoods.
Because gaming is dead. Remember how none of us game anymore? Because that was just a fad.
I thought it was funny because this article has been disproven. Like all of the things in this article were disproven so many times by so many different people. And then you're supposed to get together in small groups and discuss everything, talk about it, and come up with reasons that games are sexist. It goes through like the things that are like what is this? The lack of female character studies are consistently.
What class is this going to be taught in?
I don't know.
Is there like a video game economics craze that is?
The best I can think of is social studies because that's where bullshit belongs, where you don't actually deal with science in a lot of cases.
Can you deal with like the actual civil rights movement?
Yeah, we can cover actual shit.
Yeah, so if basically the groups finish talking and they share items and make a list with the class.
What if it's an example? What if they're like, everything that you're about to hear is complete nonsense, and listen to how it can get you on their side, even though it's complete nonsense.
I mean,
I think any
really
teacher could take this and include a big portion of the opposite point of view, and just look at how different it is when you look at real science and how people feel.
Mm-hmm.
And here's reality, and here is this fantasy that these group of people have built. What causes them to build this weird fantasy? So this could be used as a good educational tool.
Even if you did that, they just cry out conspiracy.
Well, no, I'm just talking about in class. You could literally teach your high school students to detect bullshit, essentially, with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but then
look how
someone's going to jump up and be like, but the scientific consensus is just a conspiracy to hide the truth, and then it's...
But that doesn't matter. It's just you're educating the students. Everybody can, you can't change everyone's mind, Mike. It's, you can only reach the few people that are likely to believe you and maybe sway some of the people on the fence.
I'm just saying that's what they're going to say. They're just going to cry that the truth that you're presenting is not actually the truth. They have the actual truth and you don't.
But those aren't the people you're really doing it to
you got to convince them why.
You can't. They're ideologues.
No, you have to convince the audience why they should care about where they're getting their information. Not just this person says this and this person says that and which one's right.
That's what I'm saying. You can break it down to and here's real science and here's no real science, and why is it that a bunch of people believe this stuff even though there's nothing to make it to back it up.
I think we should stick to the almost 6,000 years of civilization that we already have instead of this. 6,000 years.
But we all know the reason they're bringing this in isn't because they're going to do that. It's because they buy into this shit.
And what's funny is they have a full list of the bullshit that Sarkeesian has come up with. So if your students don't list all of these as reasons for sexism or demonstrations of sexism, you're supposed to teach them about all of these different ones that Sarkeesian did.
Yeah.
I thought that was really fucking funny.
This is like a North Korean curriculum right here.
This is such blatant propaganda. It's delicious.
Does anyone remember in Mario 2 when you could be the princess as the main character?
Nope, didn't happen.
You could actually beat the entire game as the female character.
Quiet.
And that was in the 80s.
Dissent.
I'm just...
Dissent.
But I like how the first question they ask you regarding the whole list of stuff, and once everybody's talked about it, is how does this list make you feel? I'm like, talk about it more. You can't get more irrelevant. Like that, how you feel is inconsequential. If the initial question is, do video games
No.
cause
Is
sexism?
this like a
That's
fucking
all
You
it's
therapy
about.
session?
has nothing to do with it.
No, that's all it's about to them is how they feel. How does
Oh
this
yeah,
make them
no, this
feel?
group is
Oh, I'm
how
all
you feel.
pissed off about it, so I'm right about something.
Here's something that makes me a little upset.
That gives you an insight as to how they think, how they prioritize things. It's like, how do you feel about it? Like, I don't give a fuck how you feel. I want to know what's real, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Your emotions don't matter. Which is one of the
results.
reasons why Thunderfoot gets yelled at by a lot of different groups. Is because, realistically, yeah, he's right, but he's not very
Good at delivering it.
He's
soften the
not
blow.
cordial. He's
Yeah,
not
he's very
diplomatic
cordial.
enough.
Yeah,
Too
he just
fucking
goes on.
bad.
No, this is the truth.
Yeah, he's very blunt.
Too goddamn bad. The
Um,
truth is the truth, and you being all opinionated and pissy about it ain't gonna do anything.
But see,
Yeah.
you can't scare
Can't
people
handle
like
it, you get back in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Here's the part that really bothers
You're
me.
not gonna win over
God.
any new souls that way.
Now
No,
giving his homework, damn.
So here is the thing that bothers me about this whole thing a little
Hold
bit.
on,
Like,
Mr. Mass.
the rest of it's kind of funny. Like it's ridiculous and funny and stupid. Essentially, as the homework assignment, your students are supposed to write to different video game producers to complain about sexism in video
What?
games and tell them that they need to make video games better.
So it's this.
I feel like, and there's no option of like write a letter regarding your view or
Yeah,
what you
it's-
think. It's just no, you have
Yeah.
to write it about sexism.
The
Essentially,
classroom assignment is to write your. It's like saying you have to write a letter spouting some political opinion,
yeah, and it's not
And you
even your
have to-
political
yeah,
opinion.
it's not
and
even
it's like,
yours.
that's totally inappropriate.
but you have to go write it to some like person, and it's gonna like possibly affect how things are done, and
Yeah,
that's
God,
part of the
that's fucking
assignment.
ridiculous.
And if you don't hold that opinion and write that letter, then you get like an F.
Yeah, essentially,
What
that's
kind
what
of
this
shit is that?
homework is.
That's like
Yeah,
your
that's
homework today is, love guns, be a gun enthusiast.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
no, you can't do that.
Exactly my problem with this group, with this lesson. That the only thing that really bothered me was that the end homework is literally something that's
Lord.
so biased, and has the potential and it's obviously not going to be used in many places at
No,
all.
it's not going to be
That's
used
like-
anywhere.
Oh my god, that's
You give this
ridiculous.
word
It doesn't even
widespread,
fit in
would
the
give an
class.
incredibly skewed view to the people who run those companies of what people actually want, and it would actually damage their business.
Yeah.
Because they'd start putting out a lot of games that people probably wouldn't buy. You'd literally be putting people out of jobs. The list of reading is utterly ridiculous.
But what's the harm, guys?
The additional reading and resources. The only thing on their list of resources and stuff that's actually valid reading is the Pew Research Internet project.
Here's another problem. This
The rest of it's
qualifies.
been clearly, clearly proven like not to be factual in any way. So
This actually
unsurprisingly,
points
I
to,
like how the curriculum asks a question like, "Is gaming a boys' club?"
and then goes on to just say that it is.
Yeah, I'm not saying gaming's a boys' club.
it should just
I'm just
say
saying it's a boys'
gaming
club.
is a boys' club, and here's why. If they
Yeah,
wanna
it
be
doesn't actually
honest.
go on to talk about anything or discuss anything. It literally just says, "No, this is what we think, and this is how we're going to prove it." And then it doesn't really. If you actually, do the research, it's completely like none of their sources
That
are factual.
That whole article could have been replaced with like 72-point font of the word yes.
Well, and the thing is, so like, I'm fairly far removed from being in high school. I'm 34, so it's been a long time since I've been in high school.
Oh,
Class
you
hang out with a lot
still
of
in high school,
right?
clearly.
Like in your basement.
Oh no,
Or
I'm in
still
I'm in
in
middle
junior
school.
high?
I'm 12.
Yeah, or in grade school. I can't remember which.
Even diapers.
But high school students aren't this fucking dumb. I would say
Some
good
of them are,
amount.
Wait,
Well, no, I would.
but
Do you
not
remember
all
high
of them.
school?
Most of them are
Not all of them.
Most of them are just extremely apathetic.
And they're
Yeah,
not
I was
going to
gonna
care.
say the vast majority of the people in high school are probably going to have a better idea of what's going on than the teacher when it comes to
when it
Gamergate,
comes to gaming.
video
Yeah.
games, and Anita Sarkeesian, because they're probably the people that are most involved in the debate.
They're
So
gonna
can you
get-
just imagine bringing this up in a
play
classroom
games,
full of
yeah.
high school kids who are way better informed than their teacher? and then it's trying to shove down this one very narrow-minded, very
they're gonna get bored listening to this and start playing video games.
Unfactual thing. Well, I can just see a bunch of high school students being like, "Teacher, you're fucking wrong."
Yeah, this is crap.
That's not true. Like
I've been in a class where the teacher's just spouting bullshit and nobody's really paying enough attention to give them the time of day.
Oh, I may be like the one high school student that would actually stand up in the middle of class and be like, "You're fucking wrong."
No. Most when I was in high school, class of 2021, we just kind of let the guy get up on his soapbox and preach.
Oh, dude, that was the best tactic ever.
Let him
You get a real soapbox teacher, and you ask them like this deep philosophical question. They'll eat up the entire class just going over this one question. It's like, oh, we're out of time, but I forgot to give you your homework, and it's like, oh well.
Darn.
Actually, I had an experience with somebody trying to preach, I guess, hate and or misguided information. When I was at a JC, and one of the, I guess, religion instructors.
At a
it was a junior college.
A JC. I thought you were talking about Jesus Christ.
I
Jesus
thought
Christ.
You were talking about like pennies.
Yeah, we were walking around in his ribcage, and some guy started talking.
We're already talking about Jesus? What?
Anywho, it was a junior college, and so one of the instructors who taught comparative mythology and other religion classes pretty much walked up to him and was giving him exactly what people who are douchebags and try to preach hate need, and that's pretty much to get one up completely.
Yeah.
it was a beautiful thing. You always want to see something like that, but no one ever actually does it. But then, of course, you come across the one person who can. So, and
I've never had a problem getting up in a teacher's face at the JC high school. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
Yeah, most people
if
just
I'm in your class and you start preaching bullshit, I'm going to say something. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say, most people just avoid confrontation at all costs. They're not going to... Either that or they're just not... They don't feel strongly enough about the issue. They're not going to, counter anything. Oh, yeah, But they're not going to, buy into that shit.
Yeah,
a lot of times.
A lot of the time they're not swaying anybody who is worth worrying about anyway. My only concern about any of this kind of stuff is the censorship laws. I don't want any more censorship laws. We need to get rid of more of those than we have. Just because I think censorship in and of itself is pretty ridiculous. I think it's dangerous and it should be done away with because it directly violates free speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand saying we want to have warnings on stuff, like if there's going to be hardcore fucking horse on girl action, you put something in front so that people can decide whether or not they want to partake of whatever that is.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with any form of censorship where you say these words aren't allowed or these actions or thoughts aren't allowed, and that's a lot of what.
I just kind of wish they would take all those censorship, those pro-censorship people and lock them all up in a camp where they can't espouse their views.
Exactly.
Well, they can espouse their views, but they shouldn't be allowed to control other people's views and how those are espoused.
Yeah, but the only way to do that is to control them. So
can we force them to dig a mass grave and then throw them all in it?
We wouldn't really accomplish much from that, other than
how about we send
in the ground
them
where nothing would grow.
I say we just send them straight to Siberia.
Or put them in the shower.
No, we put them where censorship really thrives. We just send them over to the Middle East. They can all go and hang out in fucking Saudi Arabia and live there for a while and see how they like it.
Live there for a while.
We
Tell me about censorship.
Or they can go live in North Korea, where censorship really, that's where censorship is.
Oh yeah, they get their indoctrination in class fix.
I'm sure they'll really appreciate it. And now we've actually gone quite a bit longer since we talked about that thing you guys thought you would hate.
Oh, let's assign homework.
Well, we hate it so much that we have to talk about it. You see?
Yeah. Let's assign homework. For your homework, go stick your thumb up your ass.
Your homework
and tell us if you like it or not.
Write an angry letter to
Anita Sarkeesian,
telling her.
All right. So shall we actually end this thing proper?
Are we done being live?
Yes, we are done being live. Say whatever.